How you guys doing today? Today, I'm solo dolo. My name is Michael Trigg. This is No Losses, Just Lessons. Saba Baptiste, my co-host, she's out. She had a little accident, and she'll be back with us on the next episode. So we're going to do part 2 of our previous podcast. And I got to tell you guys, I was pleasantly surprised of the responses that I received on that last podcast. It was great. I probably got like 20 phone calls about it. And they was telling me, I didn't realize that so many people had similar situations that they grew up in at some point of their lives. And it was such a blessing to receive those messages and phone calls. And it was all ages. That was so surprising. It was all ages. I'm talking about from ages 18 to 70. And I even had some of my close friends come in. Hall of Famer Bill came in, and we talked in great detail about it. And his take on it was, as long as it helped you, then that was most important. And it was. Anytime I do these podcasts, it's therapeutic for me, and it's always been such a blessing thus far. But it's 2 parts that I want to speak on about the positive, that the help part of it, how it helped the viewers.
A lot of people calling you?
Yeah, I got a lot of calls, probably about 20 calls and 20 text messages. You know what I'm saying? So
And what did they say?
they were saying like, wow. First of all, they were saying like it takes a man to do that. You know, and they was commending me on that. But then I was more concerned, did it help them? And they said, man, in my situation, I was raised, I had these siblings. I'm not doing names, but I was made to feel less important. And I know when I heard you, I felt it.
So
and
other people went through it?
Yeah. So that was big. But I got to tell you this about, in our culture, we're taught what goes on in our house stays in our house. And how does that help when it's negative behavior in the house? It don't. It's there for life.
Right.
So, you know, now with the podcasting being what it need to be, you're able to put it out and heal yourself.
So you don't think that's a good part of the culture?
No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we was raised. So I've always been. Annie Mary, she was here today. She said, "Who's that talking, Michael? Yeah, you got to beat him because he's gonna say what he's gonna say." That's what I've always been. And whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I've always spoke my mind. And it was crazy. The other part is my mom's friends. They came out the woodworks for my mom. You know, and they were saying that, no, I know Brenda, that's not the case. Well, and all I can say is I'm going to talk about one in particular, Miss Mildred. She's an auntie to me. Now, I can't remember every Father's Day and every birthday, she always gives me something. And it's great because she's from Carver City and we've always been pretty close. I respect her and love her, and I love the fact that her and my mom are good friends. But I know that when my mom and I at a tough time, my mom to work here, I don't really see Miss Bridget. You know what I'm saying? No, you good. Come on. No, come on. Go to that one up front, baby. Go to that one up front. So I don't see Miss Mildred, you know. And the reason why is because my mom makes you take sides. You can't be in the middle. You got to be on my side or else.
Is that also part of the culture? Or is it just...
That's just my mom.
Just your mom?
Yeah, and I get it, you know what I'm saying, but
I think it's common in a lot of people, to be honest.
yeah. But the thing, well, not me. I just always stand for what's right. It's no side for me. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit, you know what, man, goddamn, I beg your pardon, I was wrong. You know, so with my friends, I thank God for James Reddick, Brian Holmes, Misha Porter, Shannon Owens, Drenzo Payne, Torrance Williams, Anthony Hall, you know, Sean Miller, Ann Jeffries, Andre Clark, Sam Stewart, because they always made me accountable. Even Demetrius Jenkins Sr., he always made me accountable. Pelham, my brother, Mushy, what I call him. Anytime, and he's been there, Pelham nowhere is the body is buried with my children. And he say, Mike, man, you're wrong on this right here. And if he showed me that I'm wrong, I apologize all the time. So it's no side with me. I don't need them to stand on my side. If I'm wrong, just, hey, you got to be accountable for that, Mike. And I make it right. That's I can't ever remember, I'm 50 years old, my mom ever apologizing to me. Not one time in my life. Not one time in my life.
How about grandparents? You think it's just this generation?
No, my grandparents, they apologize. If they wronged me, they apologize. They was pretty cool. It's just me and my mom. It's just my mom and our relationship.
That's just your mom.
Yeah, so that's how it's always been. Even like my mom had knee surgery, and my brother's back there right now working. She had knee replacement, and she told my brother and I when she was having it, and my brother's out of pocket. I was upset with him to the point I wanted to be confrontational with him because she was a hell of a mother to him. You understand? No, you got to understand. She was the mother to him like I was to Lil Mike. So I said, man, when I
She's a good mother then?
yes.
Okay.
You know, and I said, man, Mama had surgery. And he said, oh, I know. Yes, you did know. She told us. You know, and he didn't show up. You know, but I was there. She had surgery. I went to the medical supply store, bought her the big toilet seat so she didn't have to bend as much, put it on. Come on through, man. And I was prepared to take her to all her therapy, all her rehabs, but she didn't want me to take her. So my auntie Miss Mildred took her friend. But I was prepared to take her. I said, Mom, I'll take you to therapy. Oh, Mildred's gonna take me. So I asked you, what kid, what mother, what parent don't want their biological child to take them when they have a medical issue?
I do have. So for me, I think with my parents, I mean, I'm a generation younger than you. I think he wants to give me the least amount of pressures on him. So if someone else is willing to take him, maybe he would rather have him than have me to take the responsibility and act like he doesn't want to burden me. So maybe she thought the same way.
No. Well, if that's the case, that's the case. But
we wouldn't know.
No, right. But my whole thing is, I would have taken her. I was prepared to take her every time. Yeah. Exactly. So even if you thought it was a burden, if I offered, then you just say, nah, Miss Mildred, Mike gonna take me.
Right.
But it makes me look less than a son. That's how I felt about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make me look less than a son. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got all her friends and she got kids that's here.
And she wasn't willing to accept the offer from you, but she accepted the offer from Miss Miller?
Miss Mildred, her best friend. So I did the next best thing. I would always, every time Miss Mildred take her, I would send her money for cash out for lunch. Y'all just go to lunch then, after the therapy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is, you can't buy love. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to do everything I can in support of my mom. It just didn't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? I still did my part, but it wasn't received the way I wanted to be received. I wanted to be right there with her through therapy. I done had 4 knee surgeries already, and it just didn't work out that way. So, but I said that my point was saying this was, you know, I need my auntie Miss Mildred to just, you got to be accountable. Brenda, did you say these things? Did you say this? Did you say that? Well, it's okay to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just like, you know, looking at me as if I'm lying, and I'm not, all my friends hold me accountable. And if you're a true friend, you got to be able to hold the people that you call a friend accountable.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard, but that's what it is. So, yeah, it's definitely hard, but it's something that has to be done. So, moving forward, that's my whole thing about, man, you come on through. The whole thing is about, you know, with the podcast and talking about things that's uncomfortable, you got to put it out there because you never know who had similarities and they holding it in. But seeing my podcast, seeing me open up and talk about it, helped them.
I got two questions for you. So I'm gonna tell you both questions first. Do you think accountability and like with this can be like taught? And two, how do you deal with like tough situations like that when it's hard to be honest or hard to, hold someone accountable?
It's never hard to be honest. When you get up every morning, you got a choice, whether it's gonna be positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes being positive, telling the truth, and it's not negative. They may receive it as negative because they don't want to hear it. But you just got to understand, man, if you love the Lord, bro, you know what you got to do at the end of the day. So I have been in some tough situations as far as saying being accountable and putting the blame where it need to lie. If you need to lie on these shoulders, they wide for a reason. And that's my fault, man. I dropped the ball on that. Just that simple. Just that simple. How could I make it right? And I think that comes easy for me being a business owner, because when I have a dissatisfied customer, my number's on every receipt. They can call me and say, hey, Mr. Trigg, they forgot this right here. I was craving it. Hey, man, I can do two things. I can cash up your money back, or I can make it right when you come back in the next time. How you want to handle it? It's accountability. So that's it. Okay. Yeah, well, it can, because kids are visual learners. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna do 90% of the time what they see you do. 90% of the time.
By example.
Yeah. So if they see you, how you move and how you handle conflict, they're gonna handle it the same way. So to answer the question, it can be taught. I've seen it being taught. My son DJ, he wasn't around me a lot like that. And I seen Mike. They handle it like men. I told Mike, man, you in college, bro, you gotta respect those coaches. Mike said, man, Dad, I do respect the coach. They gotta respect me. I'm a grown man. So nobody's gonna dumb me down themselves to make you feel, no, I respect you, but this is what it is. I'm accountable for my actions. Are you gonna be accountable for your actions, coach? That's how it is. Same thing with DJ. He's a firefighter. He's accountable for everything that he do, and he need the chief or whoever's his immediate supervisor to be accountable for their actions. But the thing about it is, you got to talk a certain way with a respectable tone, and they can hear you.
The delivery.
Yes, that's what it got to be. Delivery is everything. That's everything. Delivery. Yeah. So, in this right here, I think it had to have a part two, because you had to tell the feedback what we got last week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Yeah, and it was, man. It was positive, and I just want to reach out. I'm gonna say it right now. The people, the viewing this podcast, No Loss, Just Lessons. Share your story. Share your story. Don't hold that stuff in, man, because it's going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You got to share your story to get it off you. And you got to find ways to do it. If this ain't the format that you want to do it in, get a journal. Write. Whatever you got to do to heal yourself. This happened to be this podcast for me. It's this therapeutic. Or if I'm on the grill, I'm cooking. That's what gets me going and kind of get me in a good spot, good space of mind, good mind space. So that's, huh?
I used to journal a lot more, but I still do journal, just not as often.
Right. Well,
You know anyone that journals?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I journaled before, probably for years, at least 5 years. I want to write a book, but I would never write it because the book would hurt people, and I didn't want to do that. I don't do anything with malice intent. You know what I'm saying? So even like this podcast, a lot of people.
You're not writing it to hurt people though.
Right. That's the same thing with the podcast. Everything's in time. When God reveals things to you, but the thing about the book, I want to be in the book, and if I write the book, people are gonna know it's my story. It will hurt people, so I never wrote it. But I journaled enough to have enough.
You still have those journals?
Yes.
You can always release it under a different.
Yeah. I'm about to do that, man.
Possible.
Yeah. So it's something to think about. But me personally, bro, I just want to be a helpmate to multiple people that need it, and that's why we're here right now. And I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Any other things you want to talk about from the last
Nah, well, I wanted to get that out for part 2 of the podcast. So now I just want to move on to my life joy. What's up, brother? How you doing? In this football season.
Also, for the viewers, I want to say if there's any comments or questions you want to ask Mike, we can ask them now in the comment section, and then in the next podcast, whichever comments we pull up, we can ask Mike. He can answer them.
Right, I'm good. I'm good with that. But man, I'm flying out on Saturday. I'm going to Waco. Mike's playing against Tarleton State in Waco, Texas. So I'm looking forward to that. Mikael plays against Clemson. That's gonna be a big time game in Atlanta. And I'm looking forward to him being super dominant. And man, I just can't wait to see these guys, what they're gonna do. This should be both of their last years in college, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So that's what's up, man. It's a little short today because my co-host is not here, and she's not probing me. But she pushed some buttons. We get to going. Yeah. So I just want to come out and just be, I said what I was going to come out and talk about, just part 2, just to answer some questions, and tell what happened with the response I got from part 1, and it was a blessing, to be honest with you. So as long as it's helping people, I'm going to keep going.
Do you think your mom saw the podcast?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she.
Reach out to you at all?
Nah, she didn't reach out to me, but she wasn't happy about it.
She wasn't happy about it.
Nah, she didn't.
How did you find that?
Well, my brother, me and my brother talked about it, and my thing about it, she didn't receive it the right way, because I didn't come at her that way. I'm trying to heal myself.
Right.
And
Not for her.
right, yeah, so I think that with things like that, man, people, you got to get past people. If you can get past people and live your life, you'll be fine.
Like what you mean get past people?
Yeah, so what I'm saying when I say that is people like thinking that how people see you, or what they're gonna say about you based on my podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. The thing about it is you got to ask yourself, damn, I know it hurts to hear. So people don't realize when I said that, and they thought about my mom. How could he say it about his mom? That's what they said. Some of my friends, how could he say it about his mom? But I want you to flip it. I want you to flip it and say, how could a mom say that to her child? So, and then with no apologies, never, no apologies. So I'm going to end on that right there. I don't want to talk about that no more, man. It's football season, podcast, No Losses, Just Lessons, Colan's Barbecue. My boy Bill, Saba, we miss you. Get healthy, come back. We can get this thing going the right way. To God be the glory. Yo.